Meow, 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 meow. What's up, Kill Jadis? Oh, I never even checked to see if my camera was working. Whoop. What's up, Chris Rubio? What's up, Frankie? Hey, Bial. What's up, Vibrator? All right, here we go. Let's kick off episode number 280 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, selecting top, a leaping top, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
Oh, there it is.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
I'm trying. What's up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we like to think will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. And by we, I mean just me and the dog, because it's a selfie here tonight in the fan cave. Much love to my homie, my best friend, Swag Jeff. Had a little something come up today, and he's got to deal with. And so we're thinking about you, pal. We love you, and hope all gets well soon. But anyways, and so hopefully we'll have everybody back tomorrow, and we're gonna do, if not tomorrow, we might even postpone it even into next week. But anyways, we've got a really fun retro Super Bowl show planned for you guys, because we're gonna protest the Super Bowl because the freaking Chiefs are in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a retro show. We're gonna make it freaking 1984 style. We're talking about on the heels of the Raiders winning the AFC Championship game against the hated then division rival Seattle Seahawks, and then just kind of make it like we're freaking going into the Super Bowl week with the Raiders. So that should be really, really fun. So we'll either have that to you tomorrow or maybe even by next week, but definitely that is for sure coming. So anyway, so just me and you and the dog, and the puppy's asleep right now here on my side. So hopefully we won't have a puppy freak out nor a what do you call it? Like an evacuatory event here on camera. So, well, maybe it'll be good for ratings if the puppy poops on camera or something. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. But appreciate you all, everybody that is joining us live in the chat room tonight here at the whatchamacallits, at the YouTubes. The YouTubes, what the kids call it. Tider Raider is in there, and the best chat room in all of Raider Nation. Tider Raider, Paul Edgerton is in there. The Numbers is in there. JB is in there. Michelle Sweat's in there. She says she's wearing the same shirt. That's our Budweiser Raiders Fan Radio shirt, which you can find at RaidersFanRadio.com/gear. Just click on the link, takes you to TeePublic, and you can buy any of our Raiders Fan Radio merch, and 100% of that money goes to our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation. So thank you, Michelle, for calling that out. Kiljadis is in there. Ron the Materator holding it down in there. Appreciate you, Ron. Let's see. Vibrator is in there. Tider Raider is in there. Let's see. Al's Ghost is in there. Hooligan Nation. Chris Rubio. Our buddy Frankie's in there. Leo Torres is in there. B. Al is in there. So many of our good friends. And speaking of Leo Torres, so he kicks it off right here with a $5 donation right off the top. Let's go. Nice job. We appreciate that so much, Leo Torres. I don't have the applause button because it's on Jeff's thing. I'll have to find it. So everybody cheer with me. Bye. We appreciate you very, very much, Leo Torres, for that $4.99 donation. Goes to the One Nation Foundation, and hey, just a quick little update. We've already hit our first $1,000 already for our donation coming up for this year. So we appreciate you all very, very much. And anyway, so he says in there, can it be possible the Raiders trade Carr and Waller to get draft picks to go after Rodgers? Interesting. Yeah, I'd certainly, like at this point, it's like, anything's possible, right? Like you never know where this thing is going to go, especially now today on the heels of the news that Tom Brady's retired. So I think we might have dodged a bullet on that one, Raider Nation. It certainly dodges the further division around quarterbacks in this, with this team. So I think if anything, that's a good thing for the Raiders. Plus, look, the guy's, practically my age, and I ain't slinging footballs. But you know what I mean? Not that I ever could that well to begin with. Anyways, but point being though, is that he's getting up there, man. You know what I mean? And look, a Father Time is undefeated, and even when it comes to Thomas Brady. So I think we probably dodged a little bit of a bullet there. Okay, so those of you that are joining us in the chat room, thank you so very much. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Also, you can subscribe to the podcast on any podcast service. All you got to do is search Raiders Fan Radio, and you can find us on Google, Apple, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora. You could ask your internet-connected device. You can find us just about anywhere. Not just about. You can literally find us anywhere there's a podcast service. You can find us, and so we appreciate you. And if you're an audio listener and never joined us on the live show, check us out. At least pop over and check it out. These things stay up after we go live, and just help us out and give us a thumbs up there. Hit a subscribe there, and vice versa. If you're a video watcher, switch over to your audio podcast service right now while you're playing on your phone. Pop open Spotify, search Raiders Fan Radio, hit that subscribe, maybe even write a review. All that stuff helps us, helps the algorithm, helps get the show out there. And by getting the show out there, we get more advertising opportunities. And with more advertising opportunities, we raise more money for our foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation. So appreciate you and for what you all do to support this show each and every week. And all right, let's go ahead. Before we get into the meat of the show here, let's go ahead and hit some contact info.
Woo! Woo! Hey, Raider Nation! You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the tiki-tiki-taki-tok, TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio, Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. All right, we appreciate you joining us once again here tonight for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 280. I don't have an episode number for you. Well, I have an episode number for you, but I don't have something significant in Raider Nation to tie it back to because Jeff's not here and I didn't pull one up. So somebody pick me up in a chat room maybe if one of you knows something that's significant about the number 280 when it comes to the Raiders. All right, so here at the top of the show, we don't do props, we don't do shout outs. We're Italian, so we like to give a little bit of respect.
Murph, Swaggy J, Nation, it's time for a little respect. Respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
Oh, it just doesn't have the same hit to it, man, when you're here by yourself. Oh, well.
All right, so here at the top of the show, let's go ahead and give a little bit of respect. So I want to give respect to a guy. Some of you are going to get mad at me for this, but I don't care. I want to give respect to a guy that made the Pro Bowl for the Raiders. A guy that was, since the teams now that make the Super Bowl, they're not available to play in the Pro Bowl. So, it opens up space for, other players to move into those places. Well, Tommy Townsend from the Chiefs, the punter, got, he's on the Super Bowl roster because he plays for the Chiefs. So that opened up a vacant spot for a punter. And so let's give it up for A.J. Cole. A.J. Cole making the Pro Bowl, man. Isn't that so cool? And so much respect to him. And one of the things that I love about A.J. Cole is that not only is he a great punter, but he's a great personality. Like, he's a great Raider because he's got that kind of almost like a goofy side to him. He's really funny. And so this is A.J. Cole last year at the Pro Bowl getting interviewed on the sideline.
Great first couple of quarters. Probably my favorite stat line I've ever had. Got 0 punts. 3 holds, 2 halftime hot dogs. So really enjoying the game so far. It's been a lot of fun watching everybody. And I'm just here for moral support, basically. Just passing out water and high fives, and I'm just here for the ride.
Love that guy. He's just there for the ride, passing out high fives and water. Let's see. So Ron in there says, Leo Aragouz, how timely. Leo Aragouz punted 280 times for the Raiders. So thank you very much, Ron. Gosh, I need an applause button. I got to find something here. We appreciate that very, very much, Ron. Raider Critique says Townsend used to be a Raider. I think it's a different Townsend. I think that was Johnny Townsend, and this is Tommy Townsend, right? I think they're 2 different guys. But fact check me on that because Lord knows I don't know what the hell I'm talking about around here. So, but anyway, so appreciate A.J. Cole and much respect for making the Pro Bowl. All right, I've got another bit of respect to give out to a fellow content creator, a guy that's becoming a good buddy of ours, and that is Graphic Raider. Give it up for Graph. Our buddy Graph had me and Jeff on his show last week, and I had a blast on there just chopping it up with him, man. He's such a knowledgeable Raider fan and does so much with his community of listeners and all the things he's doing around mental health and whatever. I just think he's a great representative of Raider Nation. And so we appreciate him having us on. And, he's all about that spirit of and Kenny Stapler from Pillaging Podcast was the first one I ever heard say this, was a rising tide raises all ships, right? Like, we're not competing with each other as content creators. We should be lifting each other up and doing more things together and whatnot, except for those, 1 or 2 guys. But for the most part, like, we all want to do things together and lift this thing up because there's plenty of room to go around. And so we appreciate Graf having us on the show, and we're going to have him back on here again soon. But, and so not only for that, but even more, well, not more importantly, but very importantly though, I'm so thankful because it not only with him having a bigger platform gives us a bigger audience, to talk to and kind of show what we're all about here at Raiders Fan Radio. But also, he took all the donations that he got for that show, every penny that he raised during that time we were on there, and he gave that to the One Nation Foundation. And so, like, that's, again, like, that is a demonstration of character. Like, you can tell people things, you can say things, whatever. Actions, man, are what define your character. And look what he did for the foundation, giving it. And it's not just because it's our foundation, but because of what that money is going to go do to support the Bolitnikoff Foundation and help young women at risk of substance abuse and domestic violence. And so a lot of respect to our buddy Graff for doing that. We appreciate you, brother, very, very much. Thank you so much for that. All right. Last, I've got some respect for our buddy Mojo. For those of you that have been around the show a little bit, you know about our good buddy Mojo down in San Diego, a longtime listener to this show, longtime supporter of this show, and joined us, speaking of the Bolitnikoffs, joined us at the Crab Fest, him and his lovely wife, Libby, and just becoming another one of those guys that's becoming a good friend of ours outside the show. It's so great. You meet people through this show, and then you become like friends with them in real life, and it's so cool. But Mojo's got, we're all about goofy around here, as you know, lighter side journey into the dark side. But every once in a while, there's an important message that needs to come across and dealt with some severity. And this is something that Mojo wanted to share. And so we're going to give him the platform. And I think that it's a critical point to and a critical thing to be said.
Fellas, Michelle, it's Mojo. A lot of people that listen know that I'm, a prior military guy. I was in the Navy for 25 years. A close friend of mine, also recently retired, as with a lot of veterans and active duty personnel, decided to take his own life last week, man. I say all that and I bring this up, and I don't want to be a negative Nancy or anything like that for the show, but I want to say this to everybody in Raider Nation, man. If you're struggling, reach out, talk to somebody, man, because the people you leave behind when you make that decision, that sticks with them forever, man. And everybody is important. Everybody brings something to the table. So if you're feeling down, can't get past it, man, pick up that damn phone. Get a hold of me, man. You can find me on social media. I'm all over it, man. You can find any of us, man. But reach out. Nothing's that serious. We can get through anything together. Just win, baby.
All right, there he is, Mojo. So I appreciate you, Mojo, and I think it's an incredible point. And yeah, if you need help, man, reach out. And like you said, none of us are hard to find. And I want to share something with you before we're going to get into the show here now. I had a guy on Twitter this week reach out to me, and a handful of others in the same one. And I was frankly honored to be in the same company as the people he's tagging Hunter Renfrow and Tim Brown and Kenny King, speaking of content creators, and myself, and I think Charles Woodson maybe. But anyways, he's tagged us, and he said that something, and I'm paraphrasing, but his name is Raider Frankie, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something in the effect of, hey, just wanted to let you know that you complete strangers, you really helped me through a really difficult time, and I appreciate you for ghost saving me. I've never heard that term before. I had to look it up and see what that meant. But that idea that, like, we all have a platform, and yeah, we do a goofy show here, and we have microphones, and thankfully we have all these subscribers and people that support us and all that. But even if you don't do that, everyone's got an audience, right? And so your words are important, and the things that you say and the things that you do are really important, and they can mean a lot of things to people. And so being available for people, and in the spirit of what Mojo had to say, and also just having a good word for someone to share, like, it really goes a long way. And you never know when you're impacting somebody that you've never met before. I've never met this man, frankly, not familiar with his name, even on social media, and just out of nowhere hit with that. And so it's not only do I feel honored that he would think enough of me to, that whatever dumb shit comes out of my mouth, but anyways, my point being though, is that just be there for somebody if they're struggling. And if you are struggling, reach out, man, because we all got each other's back. We can all fight about quarterbacks and all this other bullshit, but at the end of the day, man, we're all Raider Nation. We're all Big One family, and we're going to help each other out. So, all right, appreciate you all very much. And let's go ahead and jump in to the meat of the show. But first, we got to hear from Hi. Oops, that's the wrong one.
Hi.
Oh, I got to play the one that Jeff likes. Where's it at? Dang it. Here we go.
This is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
Hey, Raider Nation, I just want to say hello. This is Pastor Mondo of NationMinistry.net. You're listening to Raider Fan Radio with Uncle Mosh and my brother, Murph. Just win, baby.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
Man, lots of new shit has come to light. So it was funny going in this week. We were just thinking we were going to do this Super Bowl show, and then there's like all these things start popping off, man, news-wise. And, it's going to be really interesting with this quarterback thing. And I'm bringing this up because it's all over in the chat room. People talking about Tom Brady and what the fallout's going to be and what our quarterback situation is going to be. And things changed quickly once, our former quarterback got, assigned to the Pro Bowl roster. The whole reason that they were, had benched him anyways was to avoid the money that it could potentially cost him if he got injured. And I know it's a non-contact event nowadays. And I really hope that he gets the opportunity to go out there and, and say goodbye to Vegas on the field. Like, I think that it's a well-earned opportunity. But man, if you're the Raiders, you got a serious decision to make. And do we see a situation where they actually cut him before the Pro Bowl and he's out there wearing, NFL gear? Cause no, he's not on a team. That's crazy. How that whole thing has unfolded. I said I wasn't going to talk about him and I'm not really, I don't think, but I think that's an interesting news story that's still relevant, to the Raiders as far as, and then, Tom Brady retires today. And so now it's what do you have left as options, And I think I'm really starting to lean into the idea of the Raiders just drafting a rookie quarterback. And I apologize, I forget who it was. It might have been Branson. It was somebody on Twitter said today, I'm tired. Was it Tier? It might have been Tier. Anyways, whoever you were that said this, I want to give you the credit for it, but it was a great point. And he said, I'm tired of the Raiders taking high floor and with low ceiling guys, because that's how you end up with a Cleve Farrell. I want the Raiders to take a shot on somebody that's got a high ceiling. And I think the point was being made around Will Levis from Kentucky, who I was not a fan of the Raiders picking until I read that comment. And that resonated a little bit different with me. You know what? Because the way that, and we've talked about it a lot on this show, the benefits of having a good rookie quarterback and how that can positively impact your team because you have so much more money to go do other things. Look at right now. Look what Jalen Hurts is doing balling out on a rookie contract. Yeah, I know Mahomes snuck in there, but Joe Burrow is on a rookie contract. Other playoff teams this year, Daniel Jones, rookie contract. There's a lot, right? A lot of teams that were on rookie contracts. Josh Allen just upped. So my point being, though, is that there's a viable, legitimate strategy to today's NFL that tells you swing on quarterbacks until you hit in the draft. You just keep drafting. Look at what the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts when they had Carson Wentz, who was on pace for an MVP season before he got hurt, in the building. And they drafted him anyways. There's a real logic to just swinging. And now with all this draft capital that we have, the Bears we already knew this was going to happen anyways, but they came out and supported Justin Fields. So they're looking to move out of the number one spot. I think there's a legit, now with Tom being out, unless you just kind of, figure out a way to get Rodgers out of Green Bay, which is going to cost them a lot. It's going to cost you a lot. And it's going to, you know what I mean? And, he's still not on the right side of Father Time. So I still think there's question in there. I think I'm really starting to just kind of lean into the idea that, you know what? let's go ahead and just pull the trigger on one of these guys coming out of school. And then the other thing I think that it'll do, and this is completely off the field, but just as a fan, my heart wants us to get back to all rooting for the same guy. Like, I don't like this. And I've had my whole thing with Carr and all this kind of stuff here lately and all that. But like, in my heart of hearts though, I want us to all be rooting for the same team. And so I'm kind of with this whole idea that maybe we just freaking push our chips in on a quarterback in the first round and then ride it out and see how it goes for a year or two. And then if it doesn't work, we'll do it again. And if it doesn't work, we'll do it again. And we're just going to keep doing it until we freaking land a Joe Burrow or a Jalen Hurts or a Josh Allen or a whoever, Mahomes, Russell Wilson, or whatever. Those guys that I think that's got to be the move. And again, I don't know. And I cannot wait to go back and read what your comments are. I can't read them while I'm doing the show, especially a selfie, because I'm doing 800 other things. But I always go back and read all your stuff. And I really want to go back and read your comments. And I want to know what your guys' take is on that. But hey, man, if it's Will Levis, all right, cool. Let's go, man. If it's CJ Stroud, all right, let's go, dude. Let's go, go sling that rock. Like, let's. So I'm going to root for it. I think that's where I'm at. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of my all-time favorite non-Raiders. I just think if you love to watch the quarterback position be played, you can't watch Aaron Rodgers play it and not like that guy. Like, especially when he was in his prime. You know what I mean? Like, however many years ago that was, not that long ago even. He just won MVP last year. But just the way that he, resets the pocket and his arm strength and his what do they call it? Off, not time, but whatever his throws are, his off, not balance, his whatever the hell. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's just the guy plays the position with the most precision, and he's great to watch. So I would love to see him be a Raider. But again, I don't know if that's worth. Do we have the team that Aaron Rodgers is going to get us? Is he the guy that's going to get us over the top to win a championship? I don't know. If you bring in Marcus Peters and Jalen Ramsey and Daron Payne and a bunch of other people to go along with him, draft that safety out of Alabama in the first round. Like, okay, like I could kind of see that making sense then. But outside of that, man, I say we go rookie quarterback. All right, that's story number one. Story number two, lots and lots and lots of criticism this year from us Raider fans about the abundance of opposing teams' fans in Allegiant Stadium this year. It was really ugly this year. We were there for the Patriots game. It was pretty bad. We had false starts at home because of crowd noise. It was that loud, and those chowderheads are loud anyways. But there was a lot of them. I wasn't at the Bronco game, but I heard that was a lot. I wasn't at the Niner game, but I could see it on TV, and it was a sea of red, and it was pretty ugly. And then, of course, the Chiefs game to close it out was just terrible. So there was lots of evidence of opposing teams' fans. I came across a story this week that I don't know if it made me feel better, made me feel worse, or indifferent about the whole thing. But here's what we've got. Okay, so this says Allegiant Stadium remained a big, and I think this was from the Vegas Review-Journal, if I remember right. That or the Athletic or something, I don't remember. But Allegiant Stadium, I guess is that bad ethics? I should always cite my source, huh? But sorry, I'm in my bonus room and I'm an idiot with a microphone. Allegiant Stadium remained a big draw for NFL fans, with Raider games during the 2022 season attracting a paid attendance of 618,000 people, which is up 18,000 over the prior year. Several of the Raiders' home games were at a notable presence of opposing fans in the stands. Okay, here's what got me. That was by design. Attracting fans from outside of Las Vegas was in the plans when the stadium came about. Now, not surprising to me, I guess, because we knew that the formula was there. Destination city, whatever, from people from cold weather cities, like all that. We knew all the formula was there. It's in Nashville, frankly. Nashville's not Vegas, but it's definitely a destination city, and teams fans will have large presences, if not take over Nissan Stadium, when the team is bad. Now, when the team's good, it's all Titans fans. And I think the Raiders can be the same way. So I think you had, again, the formula, bad football, destination city, all that stuff. Okay, you guys know the story. But by them actually saying it was by design, that stood out to me. Because those visiting fans help pay the $750 million that the $2 billion price tag pulled from the Clark County, okay? So $750 million in public contribution, and so they are trying to hit that money. How they hit that money, that repay to Clark County, is with their room tax, okay? Well, with the room tax between March and September, the March of 2017 and September, the latest data available, the room tax has generated $238 million, according to the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. So they're already, like, what is that, a third of the way of paying that back? Now, I'm like, I did have a question. I'm like, well, how do they know? How do they know that I'm coming to town to go to a Raider game? I'm like that. How do they know I'm not coming to town to play poker or CES or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was interesting, but I'm sure they've got some metric. But then they asked Sandra Douglas Morgan around about it, and she said, yeah, that was what they're doing. Like, she didn't freaking, and I like her, but she did not sugarcoat this at all. But what she did say is that her goal and the goal of Raiders owner Mark Davis is to continue to grow the fan base in Vegas and Nevada, so that it's, yes, they knew this was going to happen, but they don't expect it to happen long term because they're going to grow the fan base. Well, I got to tell you, you need to start winning some damn football games. Otherwise, you're never going to grow a fan base because people don't like losers, especially in Las Vegas. So this, as far as the season ticket holders go, about 55,000 of the 62,000 fixed seats in the stadium are season ticket holders. About 60% of the PSLs are in Nevada. Oakland has people that are residents of Oakland and own PSLs in Vegas. There's about 7,000 of them. In terms of the resale market, the vast majority of resale tickets came from the state of California. 57% of ticket sales came out of there. And then Nevada right after it, then Texas, Arizona, and Colorado round out the last little bit. The most expensive game during the year this last year was the Niner game. Let's see, followed by the Denver game, the Patriots, Chargers, Chiefs, blah, 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 blah. The highest paid attendance was, of course, when we played the Niners. And so, anyways, I just thought that was really interesting. Again, I don't know if it makes me feel better, worse, or indifferent. I definitely don't feel better about the fact that it was a plan, but I do feel better about the idea that they're going to address it long term. And again, though, how they're going to address that long term outside of just, winning games. I guess, you do community events. You try to, you got to build up young fans, right? Because then they grow up to be, kids grow up to be adults with money. So that's the way that you build a fan base. And so, it's going to be interesting, but it was definitely a good read there, and wanted to share that with you guys. And so, all right, let's go. Let me go ahead and hit a break here. And then I've got a interesting, we're going to a lot about money tonight, but that's what happens in the offseason. So we're going to talk about the running back market. Okay, go.
Hey, everybody, this is your old Uncle Mosh out here at the Raiders game. I got Q-Dog, I got Mojo, I got Big Raider Trucker, and they got something to tell you about Raiders Fan Radio.
Get your facts, get your funny,
And get the F out.
woo!
Hey everybody, this is Johnny Spencer from the punk rock band Stringer, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murph and Uncle Mosh. Go Raiders, baby.
All right. So this is another one that came up this week that I thought was interesting. I wanted to share with you guys. All right. This is cool. All right. So I think we all can agree. So thankfully, this is one thing we can all agree on. And if we don't agree, I'm not sure what team you're watching and who you're rooting for, but I think we can all agree that Josh Jacobs needs to be a Raider next year. And we would all hope that the Raiders would do their best efforts to sign Josh Jacobs. Now, they're at the mercy of the market. By not picking up his fifth-year option, they're at the mercy of the market, and he's able to go wherever he wants to go. Now, they can franchise tag him, which he'll make $10 million on the franchise tag. The latest numbers have said it was 12. Now it's down to 10. That's a really doable number for a guy that led the league in rushing. And so, so if they really just want to pull that card, they can make sure that he stays in a Raider uniform. But you kind of piss him off a little bit in the process. Players don't like to get tagged, and I don't doubt Josh's character, and I don't think that we would necessarily see a lack of effort or energy on his part, but he's also a human being, and as human beings, we get things stuck in our head, and if you felt you've been done wrong, I don't know. Like, would that affect his performance? I don't know. And again, and when we talk about all this money stuff, like, look, it ain't my money. Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to spend their money, and I don't want anybody to tell me how to spend mine. But when it comes to forming a competitive, state for our football team, then it's important because it's strategy. Like, the whole thing about the stadium, like home field advantage is a real life thing. So it's an important thing when it's actually penalizing our team because we have so many fans of the other team in the stadium that creates a competitive disadvantage for the Raiders. So it's an important issue to me. Same thing with here. Okay. So when we're talking about Josh Jacobs' money, and I don't care. It's capitalism. That guy can go out and make $1 billion in his career, and I hope he does. But how does that impact the Raiders and their ability to remain competitive on the field? That's where it's a concern to me. So anyways, so they can tag him at $10 million. It's going to piss him off, and will he feel slighted, and will that affect his performance? I don't know. I think the ideal thing is you get him under contract for a minimum of 3 years. Like, that's got to be the move. Well, how are we going to be able to do that? Well, because the running back market is not cheap. There's expensive players out there like Christian McCaffrey, going to be Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, but speaking of Saquon, he's up this year as well. And this is what's interesting. And I stumbled across this article about Saquon, and I think that this is a way that the Raiders, as I'm reading this article, I'm thinking Josh Jacobs. And I think this is the way the Raiders can get it done. Because there's reports of Barkley looking for north of $12 million average per year that had put him somewhere between Dalvin Cook of the Saints and Ezekiel Elliott, who makes $15 million a year from the Cowboys. Although Barkley didn't specify any numbers, it's clear he's not looking to reset the market because he understands that idea that it's going to take a $16 million a year average to, quote, reset the market. And that's like where Christian McCaffrey is.